make guys hard to move.
Yeah, talking to Coach Melvin today, one of the things he said, he goes, I like our line, I like our group of kids. He goes, but I haven't liked our schedule necessarily this year. He goes, we've played well, we've done what we're supposed to do in the games that we've played, but he said we're not battle tested. He goes, Colby's very battle tested. That's one of the things he was worried about coming in.
Yeah, I mean, and that's one of the things, like, we saw a line like this 2 weeks ago, with Ulysses, and really Holcomb had some big kids, and, so these kids our guys aren't going to be worried about the 6'3", 6'2" guys, and they've done a nice job of hitting those guys. And so, yeah, I hope that goes along tonight. So
as you get set for the game tonight, what do you look at offensively, defensively, or to be successful?
Well, I think we got to continue offensively to move the football, and we've got to score when we get the chance. That was one of the things. I think that game last week could have been different if we got in there and won and that kind of stuff. It just turns the tide, just gives you some momentum and things like that. So offensively, we want to make sure if we're going to get close to the end zone, we're going to score somehow, whether it's a touchdown or field goal or something like that. We need to get points on the board. And defensively, we just can't give up a big play. We can't give up the long run. We can't give up the long pass, that kind of stuff. We've got to play control, make Norton earn it, up and down the field, and really understand that we just can't give up a long run or right at the beginning and that kind of stuff, or a long pass. We just got to make them earn it, like we did a little bit last week with Holcomb. They just, we got some turnovers early against Holcomb, and we just need to do that with Norton as well.
Coach, it's going to be a fun game.
Yeah, it's going to be good. Good third homecoming in a row. But yeah, it's going to be a game. Appreciate you. Always good to talk to you, Chad.
Yep, we'll talk to you after the game. Coach Chris Gardner, the Colby Eagles, back with more of the Strut Insurance Services pregame show in just a minute.
When the Strut Insurance Services pregame show continues, Thomas Wheeland will join Chad in the booth for their keys to the game. You're listening to the Colby Eagles on 100.3 The Ride.
Well, there's a little bit of chill in the air, and they can take that chill off you there at Plum Creek Limited. See the new arrivals they do have for ladies and for men of clothing for fall and winter. Really some good buys right now, too. And, of course, they're marking down the summer rack. So come on in and save at Plum Creek and see the new colors of fall. Kind of about as bright as what the colors will be when it gets here, y'all. The colors of fall found at Plum Creek in downtown Colby. Remember them for wedding, too. Booking your tuxedos.
Physical ailments and injuries are a red light on the road of life. Tina Harris Physical Therapy can turn those painful red lights green, allowing you to move forward with life. Free screenings for pain and injury, sports medicine, hand therapy, post-surgery therapy, all offered by Tina Harris Physical Therapy. And this is just a small sampling of the services they offer. If it has to do with bringing you back to health and enjoying normal everyday life, chances are Tina Harris Physical Therapy can help. And they work with most insurance companies. Turn painful red lights back to green with Tina Harris Physical Therapy on Franklin in downtown Colby.
Farm Credit Western Kansas and Colby has once again returned $2.5 million of patronage to its members. In just the past 10 years alone, we have put nearly $20 million back into the area economy. At Farm Credit, we're proud to be the area's leading ag lender, taking an active interest in the success of our borrower owners. If you're involved in agriculture and not a Farm Credit member, why not? Call us at 1-800-657-6048 to find out the difference it makes being an owner. Farm Credit Western Kansas, financing ag for generations.
Hello, this is J.L. Evans, President of Western State Bank in Colby. We are a full-service bank with innovative products that you expect from your financial institution. We specialize in excellent customer service and competitive ag, commercial, and home loans. Check us out by calling, stopping by, or I will gladly come to your farm or place of business for your convenience. We are located just southeast of the Colby Walmart, right next door to the utterly delicious yogurt shop. Western State Bank of Colby, with bank locations throughout western Kansas. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
This is the Strut Insurance Services pregame show on 100.3 The Ride. It's time for the keys to the game. Here's Chad Jones and Thomas Wheeland.
Welcome back to the Strut Insurance Services pregame show and the Eagles on radio on 100.3 The Ride. Time for our keys to the game segment. Thomas Wheeland joins me tonight for this as we get set for the Norton Blue Jays, and a smaller school on the schedule, but a very, very good small school in Norton. And Thomas, this is a team that's been successful year in and year out. Coach Melvin's done a really good job building the program there.
Absolutely. He's He's gone through his ups and his downs, but, the ups far outseed the downs. So he's got a very well-established program over there in Norton.
Some good, talented kids and a lot of size to go along with it. They're going to Colby will head into this game, and we go off of last week's game, Thomas, and I know it was a shutout, 27-0, but I thought it was a very well-played game, and going back and watching it afterward, saw a lot more that I liked out of the game last week. I thought we got out of the gates a lot faster, and really just missed some opportunities on finishing. I mean, again, got one down to the 1-yard line and didn't get any points out of it. Had an extra point blocked, a field goal blocked, and moving the ball extremely well again, just not finishing right now. And that's going to be kind of the key, I think, for this team to kind of get over that next hump or get into that next stretch here is to find a way to finish, get points.
Absolutely. They, like you said, they moved the ball great. Even, go back 2 weeks ago against Ulysses, last couple of weeks, it's been the same thing. They just haven't been able to finish the drive and turn those yards and those good plays that they're having throughout the drive into points. And defensively, they just, 27-0, a lot closer game than what it sounds like. And you just can't have your defense out there that long.
And they did, and they were out there for a long, long time in the game. And again, it's just got to get some things going to get things in offensively. But, and talking to Coach Gardner a little bit, and not really in our interview, but just in sitting and having a conversation with him about things, the team is like on the cusp. And we're headed into that point of the season where we're doing so many things well, but we're not finishing, and we're not just kind of finding that extra little bit to get us over the hump. And the schedule hasn't been helpful. The schedule's just brutal on this point of the season. But if we can have some confidence, and you look down the road here, Concordia is not the team they were last year. Clay Center is not as good as they were last year. Goodland's down from where they've been in the past few years. That district's wide open right now. And the teams that we're going to play, we're not going to see anything in that district we haven't seen all season long as far as talent level and what teams do. If we can find something to get us over the hump, something positive here in the next few weeks, I think we're set up well for that district play. It's just whether we can find that, and that's the tough part.
Yeah, especially, you look at the schedule that Colby's got now playing in this GWAC. They've been playing it for a while, but, we've said it, I think, every pregame so far that it's the toughest GWAC this far, and they go into it, going in the district, that helps you out so much, especially with a team that hasn't quite gelled yet. So if they gel going in the districts, it could very well play a big part in their district play.
Last week, of course, Josh Matchell out at the quarterback spot after getting injured in the Ulysses game. He will not play again this week, but Holzmeister, I thought, did a pretty good job in the game last week. And we'll talk about the offensive side first with him. Did a great job. Had some timing issues, and that's where we saw some things, and that's going to happen when you get a kid playing, quarterback for the first time this year. But I'm looking forward to seeing the progression this week, because this is a good, talented kid, and as much as we want Josh back as soon as possible, and please, we hope you get better soon, Josh. Brady's going to have to take over the reins here for the next couple of weeks, and I'm curious to see how he'll progress from last week to this week, because I thought he did a good job.
Right, he did. Last week was great. He had a week of preparation with 2 weeks of preparation and game underneath his belt. It's exciting to see what he can do, and he's very at home at quarterback. He's played it his whole football career until last year when he switched over to wideout when Josh won the job in camp, and he just a few mesh points there in the back.
Hey, Chad.
Yes.
Who's running the camera?
Sam.
Counter plays.
Huh?
Have you checked the stream?
Yeah. What's the clock at right now on your end?
15:06.
A tremendous
I'm
job.
on 15:40.
So about a 30-second delay. Okay. All right. Thank you.
Michael was flying to the ball, had some great hits, and I thought it was the big, we gave him player of the game, and it wasn't for his quarterback play last week. It was what he did on the defensive side.
Yeah, and Brady's very at home at free safety. Last year we were playing 4-4 in his freshman year too, and he plays that free safety for us the last couple of years. And then last night they moved him from the strong safety position, or last week, from the strong safety position back to free, and he just was able to float back there and read eyes and make plays on the ball over the top, and just does a heck of a job.
And again, it's just it's nice to see that when you have players that get the opportunity to step up and to play into different roles, that they've done that and done it well. And the same thing for some of the other kids that stepped in there last week, and we're going to have to see more out of, Dante Whitfield this week at running back. And, they got him some touches last week and kind of got him going a little bit, but we're looking to see more out of him and out of Tate Carney. I thought he did a good job defensively last week as well, stepping in and playing. So it'll be interesting. Again, another week's going to make a big difference. It's homecoming in Norton tonight. This is our third homecoming in a row, if you want to look at it.
Yeah.
With the two opponents that we've played in that stretch, and, of course, our own homecoming last week. So we get to deal with that again, and it's Norton, a very tough team. And I think if we look at keys, and we'll get to that part of things now, our keys to this coming in this week, going to have to be a quick start again. We have to start the game like we did last week. Now, we need to finish and get some things into the end zone, but quick start's going to be really important against Norton because it's a team that can get rolling.
Yeah, Coach Melvin in the past, keep going back to this in the past years and things, but, they've always, they can ground and pound at you, but they can also go over the top and they can score quickly. They have a quick strike capability, and that's something you really gotta have on your mind if you're Colby, knowing the fact that they can score quick if they want to. So you got to come out of the gates quick, hit them in the mouth, and finish off the drive.
Yeah, it's kind of old school football. I'm going to pound at you, and then I'm going to catch you cheating.
Are you still there?
Beat you with something deep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay.
In Norton, so you have to really be the defensive backs have to really kind of play their position and not get caught cheating too much on that. But again, and Norton will be with. They got a young freshman quarterback that's been starting the 500 yards in those 3 games, and he might play this week against Colby either. But their starter, the Dole kid, he was a sophomore in the backfield this year, so they got a kid very capable in that. But a different kid, for sure. He's not the throwing quarterback, and that's going to get back into the a lot more of the rushing, and we're talking about the ground and pound a little bit. But like you said, have to be prepared for that occasional deep ball. Defensively, for Colby, again, we got to be prepared for that. On offense, we just have to find a way to get something in the end zone. If you look at it on the season, I'd like to see the stats, but between the 20s, we're really good. I mean, we're really good, and I'm not exaggerating with that. Inside the 20, not so good. I mean, it just seems like that's where we run into the penalties. That's where we've run into the turnovers. That's where I can think off the top of my head of 4 turnovers inside the 20 on the season from us. A couple in the Oakley game, and then we had, a couple more in one last week. Got to find a way to finish.
Right, and that's not, inside the 20s, you say that, but that's not just, the red zone. It's when our back's against the wall, we're not great coming out from that situation either. But, yeah, honestly, we get down to the red zone and just kind of self-destruct a little bit, I guess what I should say. And I'm sure that's been a point of emphasis, through this week of practice. And, they've done a few drills, trying to finish off drives, going in from the 20 and things like that, and team offense, team defense. So that ought to help.
Well, we look forward to it. It's going to be a good game. And, Thomas, thanks for talking to us here in the pregame. We'll see you back in the booth next week.
Yeah.
Thomas Whelan joining us. That's our keys to the ball game. You're listening to the Eagles on Radio and Colby Football. We'll be back with more of the Strut Insurance Services pregame show in just a minute.
We meet tonight's starting lineups when the Strut Insurance Services pregame show continues. You're listening to the Colby Eagles on 100.3 The Ride.
The Colby Free Press brings residents of Thomas County news, pictures, and commentary on the happenings, issues, and events that impact the lives of residents of Thomas County. The Colby Free Press is informative and affordable. The Colby Free Press is a local daily newspaper that has earned a great reputation in Rexford, Brewster, and surrounding communities.
For only $60, Wireless has all the newest phones is back, but only for a limited time.
Can get a little stressful on your finances. If you're in the need for any type of loan, come in and talk to their local grown loan officers at the People's State Bank. They live in this area, so they know this area. They pride themselves on getting them off the farm. They really do know the local ag economy. They want to take this time and thank you for your patronage at the People's State Bank with locations in Colby, bank member FDIC.
Always a fine selection of late model vehicles on the lot, including crew cabs and many makes and models. You'll find sports cars, convertibles, luxury cars, vans, and of course the popular SUVs. Truly a great inventory to choose from, and as always, they're willing to buy west. Go online to MotorTownLLC.com.
Welcome back. It's time to look at tonight's starting lineups, brought to you by Vernon Hurd, your Farm Bureau insurance agent in downtown Colby. For all of your insurance needs, see Vernon Hurd today. Here's Chad Jones with tonight's starters.
Time to take a look at the starting lineups tonight as we continue. Brought to you by the good folks at Farm Bureau Insurance. Vernon Hurd, your local agent in downtown Colby. As we look at starters tonight for the two teams, we'll check the defensive set for the Norton Blue Jays because they've been phenomenal on the season, and we'll look at the offensive set for the Colby Eagles. Defensively for Norton, as I mentioned, they've been great on the season. They've given up just 13 points on the year, 6 to Oakley, 7 to Phillipsburg. They have shut out Smith Center, Plainville, and Ellis on the year, winning those games by at least 32 points. So a very, very good defensive team. And this set, they'll go with Kendall Miller. He is their defensive end on the left side, wears number 11, 6 foot, 185-pound senior. Green is the defensive tackle on the left side. He wears number 77, 6 foot 3, 240-pound senior. Their nose tackle, and how about this? The nose tackle leads them in tackles on the season. Don't see that very often. Good athlete. Jacob Green wears number 53, 6 foot, 230-pound sophomore, 36 tackles. Son, 10-pound senior, 25 tackles on the season. Jordan Dole will get the start at defensive end, 5'11", 210-pound junior. Not often do you see a quarterback play defensive end, but again, that's where he'll be lined up on the defensive side of things, again, getting the start at quarterback due to injury this year. The linebackers are Christian Booth, 33 tackles on the season, also has an interception. Jared Talent will get the start at the other linebacker. He is a 5'7", 160-pound senior with 18 tackles, 1 sack, and a fumble recovery on the year. The defensive backs, 165-pound senior, 18 tackles, 1 475-pound senior with 11 tackles. Evan Lively, number 6, a 6'1", 190-pound junior, 30 tackles, a pick on the season. He ran that back 44 yards, by the way. Offensive starters for the Colby Eagles tonight. Up front, Jay Ziegelmeyer, the senior, will get the start at left tackle. Where's number 50? Bryce Arnberger will start at left guard. He's been very good on number 55. Quigliano, he'll have his work cut out for him going against their best. Again, he's been good running the football as well. 58 carries on the season for 231 yards and a touchdown, and one 100-yard rushing game on the year for Brady. He gets to start at quarterback. Matthew Pieper will be the pistol back for the Eagles. He's had a 100-yard rushing game on the season. 72 carries, 273 yards and a touchdown on the year. Ben Matchell, he's had 2 100-yard rushing games. He'll be the A-back for Colby. He has 64 carries on the season for 461 yards. He's averaging just shy of 100 yards per game on the year. Dante Whitfield will get the start at the B-back for Colby. He has 3 carries for 7 yards since being moved into that position last week. The receivers for Colby, Alex Young will get the start at the X receiver. Austin Russ, who has 2 catches for 15 yards on the year, will get the start at the Y receiver. So up front, Ziegelmeyer, Arnberger, Quigliano, Hart, and Slinger. In the backfield, it's Holzmeister at quarterback, Pieper at the pistol back, Matchell the A-back, Whitfield the B-back, and then the receivers Alex Young and Austin Russ. And that's how the starting lineup looks for tonight's contest. We'll take a break, be back with more of the pregame show in just a little bit. You're listening to the Eagles on Radio and Colby Football on 100.3 The Ride.
This has been the Strut Insurance Services pregame show on 100.3 The Ride. Brought to you by Strut Insurance Services, where they serve the listening area and beyond with their insurance needs. Make sure you strut your stuff. Stay here. Kickoff is next. You're listening to the Colby Eagles on 100.3 The Ride.
I say you should see what they have by GE.